Hello and welcome to the second day of the AI Summit London. My name is Max Smolaks, editor at AI Business, and I'm pleased to welcome Alejandro Saucedo, who's the engineering director at Seldon, a company dedicated to, operationalizing machine learning. Hello, Alejandro.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
So first of all, for people not familiar with Seldon, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so we are an open core machine learning deployment and monitoring company. So we actually provide systems and platforms that allow clients to deploy thousands of models into production in a compliant and governed way.
Okay, and in your opinion, what are the biggest barriers to launching AI in production today? Because the situation probably changes from year to year, right?
Yeah, no, that is a great question. So one of the things that we have seen at Seldon is the emergence of the concept of MLOps. This concept basically abstracts some of the key best practices of DevOps with machine learning as first-class citizen, which basically means that the challenge is no longer to just deploy a model, but to be able to deploy and productionize hundreds, if not thousands of models across different environments, with different subversions, with homogeneous model frameworks in a standardized way that can be introducing that accountability framework, that governance best practices for the organization to be able to manage at scale. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we have seen in the deployment of machine learning this year, 2021. Yeah.
So very practical challenges. Okay,
Yeah.
And you mentioned you're an open core company. And so what is the importance of open source to the development of machine learning and these frameworks?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are an open core company, which means that our core is open source. We are actually the developers of Seldon Core, which is one of the most popular model deployment frameworks in Kubernetes. So it has been downloaded over 6 million times. It's used across hundreds, if not thousands of organizations, and currently is running thousands, hundreds of thousands of models. So from that perspective, we actually see that the underlying infrastructure is critical for that to be open source, given that it ensures the adoption of a standardized ability to serve those models. And we actually see it in a very analogous way to other frameworks like Spark, which is also open source. Now, on top of that, we do offer our enterprise platform, which is that open core part of it, that closed source enterprise part of it, that provides that management, administration, monitoring, observability. On top of that, tested and proven open platform. So I think it is absolutely important in order to ensure that there's a standardized, secure, tested, proven, reliable framework that can be adopted across the board. And we have seen similar initiatives that come out of that, such as the standardization of the protocols to interact with models, the standardization of data schemas, which only brings higher level of interoperability across industries, which is absolutely important.
All right, well, sounds brilliant. And you mentioned monitoring, and I think that's something of a specialism. So what are the trends that you've seen in machine learning monitoring specifically?
Yeah, that is a great question. So at Seldon, what we have been able to see is that the ability to offer monitoring is not enough, because what is important is to be able to provide scalable architectures that offer monitoring across hundreds, if not thousands of models. So when it comes to the platform that we offer, we have to take into consideration that organizations will have hundreds or thousands of models, each of them with advanced monitoring components like outlier detectors, drift detectors, explainers, statistical monitoring components. And with that perspective, we need to be able to abstract how those models can introduce that monitoring architectural flows that can be also compliant with the similar deployment requirements that you would have with models, right? There's the similar level of reproducibility, auditability, all of the outliers that have been detected to be traced in audit trails. So for us, we need to make sure that that is also taken into consideration, and some of the trends focus on the robustness of monitoring as opposed to just pretty dashboards, which we know we all love pretty dashboards, but the underlying engine is equally important.
And I like that just like all of these features you mentioned, they're enterprise-ready features. They're features of real AI, not something that's being designed in a lab. So that sounds brilliant. And if you could give some advice to business leaders who are right now designing their AI strategy for the next couple of years, what would you tell them?
Yeah, no, I think it would be along the similar trend, which is basically right now it's no longer about just deploying machine learning. It's no longer about having a pretty dashboard that shows you some graphs, but it's about the ability to be able to have a robust means of rolling out and promoting models across different environments with advanced monitoring components, with robust data infrastructure, as well as ensuring that the operational processes around your machine learning systems have the right touch points with your internal domain experts, right? So you're able to pull in the right person at the right time to ensure that that sort of level of compliance is governed in the right way. You introduce the right levels of that accountability structure that organizations already have for their non-machine learning departments. So I think that would be the important, I guess, advice that I would give to business leaders.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Alejandro. This has been very useful, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it.